Every time you laugh.
I know.
Every
I don't know
time
why.
you I know you crack up every time. Hello and welcome to Find Out Nation. I'm one of your hosts, Jamie,
I'm one of your hosts, Nicole.
and we're here to talk about what happens when a nation starts fucking around and finding out. Nicole,
Yes.
State of the Union last night.
Thank God.
Thank God this was his second State of the Union. So we're getting closer and closer. Do you have a countdown for us?
I do. We're at an even 250 until the midterm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Love that. I love that journey for us.
I know. And we're 401 days in.
Okay. So honestly, I feel like maybe now we have to have a countdown from his presidency.
Oh, like how many?
Now, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. So are you thinking like a countdown for what's left?
My countdown to my Disney vacation, that kind of thing.
Like until the end of his presidency?
A countdown to midterms. Yeah. And then a countdown for him
vacating office. Okay. So rather than continuing to count how many days he's been in office, you want me to change it to until
I don't know.
He leaves?
What do you think?
I mean,
yeah, what do you think?
I think it's something to look fucking forward to. And if we get
exactly.
If the universe wants to bless us with a dirt nap sooner, God love her. I'm all for it.
God love her.
Yes.
Let's all pray to the universe. But barring that happening.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, with the State of the Union last night, was Trump was
girl.
He had taken all of his Red Bulls, right? They gave him some drugs.
Yes. Did you watch it live? Because I did not.
I did not.
Okay.
No,
I did not.
So my husband, God bless him, he's like, I want to watch it. And I know it's because I want to know how to refute every goddamn thing in it. And I get it.
Yes.
And I was like, and I yelled at him. I felt so bad, but I hadn't had anything to eat. And it was 9:00 last night. And I was like, absolutely not. Turn this the fuck off.
Yes.
If you want to watch it, you can watch it on YouTube later.
Yes.
And he's like, okay. He's like, well, I don't have to turn it off. And I was like, you're not giving that man my views. And so I went stomping upstairs and he texted me. He's like, I turned it off.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. Yeah, no. So Jessica was watching it live. She didn't watch all of it. She did watch some of it. She was texting me about it a little after 9 or whatever, some stuff about it.
Yeah.
But I did not watch it live, but I've seen all kinds of clips today. I've read the things. I like how the whole back of the hand now is fully encased in makeup. And
is it?
Oh yeah, girl, the whole back of the hand. And to your point, I don't know how he had the stamina to do he
for
had
2 hours
jazzed up on Red Bull, and
they had to have given him something.
Yeah, he was on
speed.
To
that point. So I got off work today at 5. We recorded at 7:30. So I had a very short window and people started pinging me. So I watched it on 1.5 speed, which actually makes Trump sound normal instead of his So I also wonder how much of this was me just watching it on 1.5 speed, that it sounded faster than usual. But regardless.
Yeah.
So I watched the whole thing today. He pointed to a lot of people in the crowd. I was surprised at the number of people in the crowd that he responded to. And
I don't like this countdown. Oh, it's 1,059 days.
What?
It's 1,059 days left in his presidency.
Let's wait until after we're less than 1,000 days, and then we'll start maybe doing it the other way.
Okay, thank you. I like that better. That's very sad.
Yeah,
it's not close enough yet.
No, not close enough yet to start counting down my Disney trip.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Exactly.
Not that I'm going on a Disney trip. I just want to make that very clear. I just anytime I've gone on a Disney trip, they have the countdowns. Oh my God.
The countdowns.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. So I did get to watch it. So should we start with the State of the Union?
Yeah, 100%. Go.
Okay. Number one. So last week or I should say earlier this week, when I was editing our last podcast, I may have had a glass or two of wine.
I think that's the way to edit all the time.
And for those of you who might have seen, I very clearly title it, Trump is a racist. I put in everything like Trump is a racist.
Yes.
I like capitalize the word racist. Like I cannot say the word racist enough.
Yes.
Yeah. And so like I had a lot of feelings. The next day I'm like, okay, did I go overboard? Was I going whatever? My love, did you see Al Green?
I sure fucking did. From
That
the
man,
jump, that guy's a fucking legend. Legend.
a legend,
Yeah.
a legend. So he shows up with a giant white sign that says, Black people aren't apes. And like ends up getting escorted out of the State of the Union.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Before it
and he
even
made a
starts.
statement later. Yes. Yes. Before it starts, he gets, yes. And he gets escorted out. I loved the fact that, to be perfectly honest, he came back later and was like, we have to speak up. We
Yes.
have to keep. And I'm like, okay, I feel justified.
Yeah.
I felt like good. I'm
Yeah.
glad because he's a fucking racist.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, Al Green is the one that got censured the last time, and shaking his fucking cane at you, walking cane at him, you know, and yelling at him, and they escorted his ass out. But I'm like, this is what you have to do with these people, because ignoring it, taking the high road, isn't helping anyone.
No.
It's helping no one. And you have to let everyone around you know where the fuck you stand on these issues. Because if you say nothing, then people will assume that you're fine with it. You're fine with it.
Yeah. Yes.
And you agree with
1000%. So that
I loved it. When I saw that picture this morning, oh my God. So great.
Yeah, girl. That started my day out just marvelously.
Yes.
So that was great.
Yes.
The content of the whole thing was mostly around, like, it was really illegal alien heavy, which I want to talk about the Omar outburst and all that. I will here in just a second.
Yeah.
But so he like made all these claims around illegal aliens that now we have the lowest murder rate in 100 years. We have the highest stock market ever. We're reducing inflation. He's gotten $18 trillion in investments from around the world in the American economy. He did make a dig at lowering interest rates so that people who own homes can like continue to feel rich, and the people that don't own homes, like whatever. He mentioned getting 80 billion gallons of oil from Venezuela. Oh my God.
But he omitted the fact that he stole it?
Right. Right.
It didn't just fall in your fucking lap, sir.
Exactly. Yes. They didn't just say, here you go. Here,
it's not manna from
murdered
heaven.
Their president.
Like,
right. We murdered their president and stole their oil. He, at the end of all this, he claimed the state of our union is strong. But then throughout this fucking conversation, he calls Democrats crazy. He like yells at them multiple times. He's like, they are doing this. And I'm like, you just said the state of the union, which the union is all of us. Right. So if you think the state of the union is strong, and yet you're like continuously mocking, it was insane. Like if I ever saw another president get up there and like, these people are crazy.
Yeah.
Like I would just be incensed. I would be embarrassed to have voted for that person.
Yes.
Like that's my reality.
Yes.
He did talk. So he had a lot on affordability and prices. And of course, like this is where like he doesn't think the message has gotten out there yet, where like he talked about all the prices are coming down, including beef, eggs, and rent. He talked about his new healthcare act, where we're going to put the money that goes to insurance companies back in the hands of people, and then they'll go out and buy their own healthcare for deeply discounted prices. And I'm like,
you know, what would be easy? Just do universal.
What are you talking about?
Just do universal healthcare.
Right. Are you actually proposing universal healthcare? Because okay, I'm behind it.
To send the money to me, use the money that I'm paying for in my taxes, and make universal healthcare a thing that exists in this country.
Well, and to your point, like if we're not going to pay, like he called out insurance companies and he's like, all Obamacare did was pay the insurance companies more. And I'm like, okay, great. I agree.
Yeah.
I 1000% agree that like Obamacare just solidified the role of insurance companies
Yes.
and like insurance um, brokers
Mm-hmm.
in our healthcare system, which I grossly, grossly hate. I think it's awful.
Yeah.
With that said, like if your plan is to no longer require insurance and give me some type of state run or federally run, medical option that then I pay for with the money I'm spending on insurance, we could talk about that. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a possibility. That's not what you're talking about.
Mm-mm.
What you're talking about is giving money that right now you use for subsidies for healthcare, giving those to the American people, and then expecting them to still buy insurance.
Yeah.
Like you still
Yeah.
have not like addressed this idea of decoupling insurance and medical care. At least that's everything that I have seen that he's
Well,
presented
yeah.
is that.
Yeah. And because at one point he was talking about $1,500 or $2,000 that was going to go to us. I'm like, and that's going to do what for me? Fuck all.
That's right.
That's going to do fuck all
That's
for
right.
me.
Because all you're telling me that I'm going to do is use that cash to pay the insurance companies,
Right.
which if my insurance companies, which is a scam to me,
Mm-hmm.
but if my insurance companies know I now have 2,000 more dollars to pay them, come on.
Right.
We know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Like we know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
We're going to raise deductibles. I remember, this is going to sound like back in my day, but when you and I started, when we started in our respective companies, like high deductible plans didn't exist.
Nope. I had an HMO,
I
girl.
remember I was on a panel. That's right. Like it was all just copays. You paid like whatever. Your
Yeah.
company, for the most part, would cover you.
Yes.
You only had to pay for your spouse and children.
Yep.
Like it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And yes, you had a deductible, but like your preventative care was covered, whatever. And then I remember being on the panel where we talked about whether or not the company that I was at the time, which was a local bank, if we wanted to adopt a high deductible plan. And the high deductible plan was like, so they had raised it where now I was paying a portion of my insurance, which was like $65, which I couldn't afford, obviously, but I still paid it. So the high deductible plan was like $15. And of course, the deductible is like $10,000 or whatever. But I'm a 20-year-old kid. So I'm like, yeah, of course.
All you're looking at is the 15. Yeah.
That's right. Because I'm not using any healthcare.
Right.
But I'm like, we still need. And what has happened is we have seen those high deductibles creep up and up and up and up.
Yep.
And now the way they offset that is by giving you your health savings account, which great, they're giving you the cash, but it still means insurance companies have been able to raise rates and raise deductibles and keep these super expensive plans. And it's not like we're seeing this money go to doctors. We're seeing it go to insurance CEOs, which is why Luigi Mangione shot the fucking CEO of
United Healthcare.
Of United Healthcare.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so, sorry, go ahead. Keep going. Yeah. No, keep going.
No. And so this is where my frustration is like, sure, you can give us another $2,000 for our health savings account. Great. That's not solving the fucking problem, you stupid goddamn moron.
Well,
go ahead.
Right. And like my company does contribute to our HSAs, depending on whether you're on a family plan or a single plan, it varies. And depending on how much, like there's a max that they will put in every year. And that's dependent upon what you as the employee are putting in. So if you want to get the full company match, you have to be putting in the same equal match for the year. There are some companies that give nothing. My husband's company, zero to an HSA. My husband's company, my husband's company also only has high deductible health plans like mine does. His company is so fucked up that the amount of money that comes out of your paycheck every 2 weeks is dependent upon what your annual salary is. So the more money you make, the more money comes out of your paycheck every 2 weeks, because the lower paying, and I understand the thought process behind this, because your entry level and lower level employees are not making as much money as the higher end employees. Right. So they can't pay as much. My thing is, Why don't you kick in more and cover more of the overall cost, company, corporate, instead of expecting there's like this huge gap in what the employees are paying based on what their annual salary is. And still, like, even at my company, um, what your total max out of pocket is for the year is 12.5, on top of the, yes ma'am, on top of the 200, and well, it's 500-ish dollars a month that I pay for that insurance that comes out of my paychecks. And then I'd have to meet 12.5, I think is what it is, before insurance pays 100%.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So this whole idea of like, oh, we're going to fix healthcare. And he brought up
Mm-hmm.
Obamacare and he talked about how bad it was. But then he brings up prescription drug prices and he brings up Trump
Oh
RX, which
God, of course he did.
you and I have talked about Trump RX before. He showed a example of a woman who was taking IVF drugs. She said that at one point, one of the drugs that she took is $4,000, but Trump RX brought it down to $1,500.
We're talking about an IVF drug. Can we talk?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about a diabetes drug. Let's talk
No
about
shit.
inhalers. And no knock in IVF, because people that are on that path, I feel for them hugely. That's a hard
Yes.
road to hoe, because it just is. There's so many emotions and stuff
Yeah.
around it.
It's hard.
It is an
Yeah.
expensive process, regardless of your insurance amounts.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Trump RX is
Yes.
what
Yeah.
a fucking joke that's the
Well,
example he gave.
that was my point, is like, this is the example you gave after like taking away women's rights to choose
Bingo.
and attacking
Bingo.
IVF in other ways.
Yeah, the
And
Heritage
like,
Foundation
I'm like,
is out here
what?
talking about how you shouldn't be using IVF unless it's an extreme circumstance.
Exactly right. So I'm like, this is so weird for
Solid
him
point.
to talk through.
Yeah.
He talked about a new program that he's talking about called, what do you call it? Rate Payer Protection Plan. So he's got a bunch of IT companies that are coming out from Amazon, Google, Meta. And basically what it is to force IT companies to provide their own power to power AI and not take from the city's
Like the
electric
data
grid,
centers?
causing, yes, prices to go up. So like, those kinds of things like sound good on paper,
Mm-hmm.
but for whatever reason, every time they enact these things, it's just, they get fucked up somehow. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, we'll see what that is. But that was one of the things that I actually have a lot of interest in. The tech, they're supposed to meet next week. So I'm really questioning that. The thing that he got the most applause for all night was the Stop Insider Trading Act, which is meant to stop insider trading in the government. And both sides stood up for it. Elizabeth Warren stood up for it. Like, everyone stood up for it. And it was basically like the act says that you can't trade on any information that hasn't been released publicly. And for anything that you can trade on, like, you have to wait 7 to 14 days to trade on it. It's not, I think it's a bipartisan law that was introduced. I don't know who introduced it, but Trump did. Like, he really applauded this particular act and people really did support it. So after Democrats stood up, he actually was like, oh, they finally stood up for something. And I was like, what a dick. Like, anyway.
God.
So Stop Insider Trading Act was a big one. He did at one point reject political violence, which was shocking. He claimed that religion is back at levels we've never seen before.
Is this when he announced that America's Widow was there? Because I saw that America's Widow got...
She came later.
Oh, she did.
So now, no, I'm wrong. It is, because he did reference Charlie Kirk during the religious conversation.
I wondered how that came about when he was announcing America's Widow was there and she had to stand up and, fake produce a tear.
Yes, she did. And I don't know if you noticed, but there was no tear.
Never.
It was just
That's right. Yeah. We've even dispensed with the Kleenex. We don't even need that anymore.
He brought up Iran and said that he talked about the previous Midnight Hammer and how it wiped away their entire nuclear program, but now it's back, and so he needs to save the world. And he said he has to hear the words, "We will never have nuclear weapons again."
You're not going to hear it.
And he referenced it, like he referenced the military and how we're like the best military ever. He called us peace through strength. He referenced, oh my God, he referenced Space Force as his baby. And when he did that, they panned to his like Kushner, like his kids, Don Jr., I think it was. I can't remember who it was. None of them were like everyone else was standing up and clapping on them. They were not clapping. And they had a look on their face that was like,
Oh my God.
and then like they finally started clapping. They didn't stand up or anything. And I was like, oh, are they jealous that he called
Space Force. I
Space
mean,
Force his
I
baby?
wouldn't want him to call me his baby, so I'd be fine with it.
I guess.
Did you think at
Um,
any point, I thought about this, like, I honestly expected him, when you were talking about Iran and him bringing up Iran, I expected him to be like, and we're bombing Iran right now. Like, because he had the audience to like make some big announcement. Did you kind of think that something
announcements.
like that would happen?
No,
Okay.
only because like he, and in all fairness, he made some bigger announcements, but they were all
Oh,
like acts and laws that he's
okay.
looking at.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah. But and this was batshit crazy too. At one point, he gave a World War II pilot the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Okay.
So he gave out medals left and right. Like he
Last night
told
during the
the
thing, like, don't we normally have
my
like a
my
separate
girl,
presentation for that?
my girl. He told the goalie for the hockey team that he was getting the Presidential Medal of
Uh
Freedom.
huh.
He then handed out a Purple Heart and like they pinned it on him right there. They gave out a Congressional Medal of Honor, which he said, I've asked. They said I can't give this to myself. But if the law ever changes, I'll be right there with you because I want one of those.
What would you get one for, sir? You're a draft dodging racist. What exactly would we give you a medal for? That? For
Right.
being the
Right.
first draft dodger that got elected president?
All right. So we have two medals of honor, the nation's highest military decoration, were awarded to military pilots. One went to retired Navy Captain Royce Williams, a 100-year-old veteran recognized for aerial combat during the Korean War.
Okay.
And in the skies over, blah, yeah. And then the second was presented to Army Chief Warrant Officer Eric Slover, cited for his actions during recent U.S. military options to capture Venezuela's president. And I think, anyway, Trump also announced a Presidential Medal of Freedom for Olympic hockey goaltender Connor Hellebuyck. And then another military honor, the Legion of Merit, was awarded to Coast Guard Petty Officer Scott Ruskin. Purple Hearts were presented to members of the West Virginia National Guard who were involved in the Washington, D.C. shooting. New York Magazine says Trump's State of the Union was a bloated award show.
Oh my God.
That's pretty
That's
funny.
hilarious.
Okay. So anyway, so needless to say, yes, he was just handing out awards left and right at this State of the Union.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. Yeah. So
That
that
is
Royce
crazy.
Williams, he served in World War II, the Vietnam War, and the Korean War, but he got his medal for his acts in the Korean War. Just as
Okay. Holy shit.
yeah, I know it was a lot. It was a lot. And there were like people there to just hand these out to everyone around. And that Royce Williams was standing next to Melania Trump, and I swear to God, she like. She smiled more at this guy than she did at Donald Trump, who at one point called her a movie star. And yes,
Sir.
and was talking. And at one point he goes, she has more Democrats that get on like that will agree with her policies than I do. You're going to have to tell me how you do that at some point.
What policies does she have? Other than she doesn't want to really be in the same room with him.
No, he talked about something where Melania has an AI initiative that's going on right now. First Lady Melania Trump launched the Presidential AI Challenge in August 2025, a nationwide initiative aimed at K through 12 students and educators to foster AI literacy. And then she has one of the other one that she did was like something. And
Okay.
like people have been
Okay.
pretty supportive.
I
Like
didn't
it's
know.
yeah,
I truly had no
yeah,
idea. I figured the only thing that they could get along about was the fact that nobody wants to be in the room with Trump, her or the
yeah,
Democrats.
100%. Okay, the best
Oh, God.
part of it
Oh,
though,
God.
I know you saw this, right?
I don't know. What?
When Elon Omar
Oh,
yelled, "You've killed
I
Americans."
did see this clip and I was very proud of her for saying that.
So I don't know how long the clip was, but when you watch it, so Trump is just going after illegal aliens, like he's just going
Mm.
after immigrants, like hardcore. He's talking about the Somalia fraud in Minnesota, and like she and Rashida Tlaib were getting more and more pissed. Like
Mm.
you could just tell they were getting more and more
Mhm.
mad. He keeps going on about illegal aliens, and he's like, stand up if you agree with this statement. The first duty of the federal government is to protect American citizens and not illegal aliens. Now, if he had just said the first duty is to protect American citizens, I think people would have reacted differently.
Mhm.
But the fact that he said and not illegal aliens, the Democrats did not stand up.
Right.
Like they did not stand up.
Right.
Okay. And
Which is why he said it.
I mean, yes. And the right just went nuts and applauded for a long, it was the long, I'm sure.
Oh,
I didn't time
God.
it, but I'm positive is it was the longest. But they start chanting USA, USA, you right.
Oh,
Like
my
it's ridiculous.
God.
He then is like, you Democrats should be ashamed of yourself for not standing
Oh,
up. And that's when she's like, you have killed Americans. And she shouts it probably 4 or 5 times.
good for her.
You have killed Americans. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
It is. And I did see that clip. I just saw the part of him saying Democrats should be ashamed of themselves and then her shouting back. So I didn't know what had preceded it. But I was listening
Okay.
to the Pod Save America guys today on with their take on the State of the Union. And it was interesting because they were all pretty much in agreement that last night for them was nothing but more than a scream fest. He was screaming at everyone there and specifically the Democrats at different times. And then like Ilhan Omar was yelling back at him at different times. And they were like, to the average American, all they think when they see that is, this is why I hate Washington. This doesn't bring anybody together.
Oh,
This
yeah.
doesn't do anything. But then a part of me is like, I understand that. But again, just like with Al Green's sign, sitting there in silence is not the protest that you think that it is, Hakeem Jeffries.
No, that's exactly right. And Omar's clip is going to be played
Yes.
over and over and over again.
And guess what? The American
So
citizens were murdered in her district.
that's right. That's right. And so like it's very much clear why it was the way it was. I'll be honest. There are parts of his speech that addressed real issues for America.
Mm-hmm.
That like there was one initiative that he and Elizabeth Warren, so they have this initiative that they were talking about. What was it? It was something with banks. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. But anyway, it was something about banks that they both agree with. And like Elizabeth Warren supports, right? Like,
Yeah.
so there are things out there that we can all at least talk about.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the healthcare conversation.
Yeah.
Like that's a conversation that like he brought up and we can all talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
But then he made the fucking statement, Nicole. Many, if not most illegal aliens do not speak English and cannot read even the most basic road signs as to direction, speed, danger, or location. So he had brought in this girl, Dahlia, I think Delilah, something like that. Anyway, when she was 5, she was in a big car crash where an 18-wheeler driven by an illegal alien crashed and caused this big pileup.
Mm-hmm.
And it caused her to have some really serious life changing injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, and Gavin Newsom gave him a driver's license and da 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 da. And so he had them stand up as proof that, like, oh, illegal aliens are
Bad drivers?
somehow worse drivers than regular drivers. And that's when he said, many, if not most, do not speak English and cannot read even the most basic road signs as to direction, speed, danger, or location.
That's insane.
And it's like, it is, and it's so
Racist?
damaging.
Huh,
It's
yes.
so infuriating.
Yes.
That is the kind of thing that pisses people off so bad.
Well, it's just such a bigoted remark. And
yes.
cite your sources. Where's your data?
Yes.
Where's your data
Yes.
to back up this insane claim that you are making?
So these are the kinds of things that, like, if we got that out of this conversation,
Yes.
we could come together and have a conversation about healthcare
Yeah.
or whatever. But
he can't help himself.
Very much clearly is like, all the Democrats want to just let everybody
Yep.
in, and all we want to do is protect all the cities. Like, that's the kind of shit that I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Okay. So at one point he talks about this girl, Sage Blair, which I'm having a time with pronouns for this person.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to call them a they their
Okay.
person.
Okay.
So he brought Sage up and introduced her with her mother in the State of the Union, and claimed, and this is the claim, that they are a female student who had her gender changed by her school without her parents knowing. It caused her to have a mental breakdown, which caused her to run away from home, okay, where she was trafficked and raped and all this stuff. And, oh, her mom was clapping while she stood there with a fucking
stone face,
voided look and on her face. Okay, here's the reality. A school counselor spoke to Sage when they were freshmen after a science teacher overheard them tell a friend that they wanted to be referred to by a male name and male pronouns.
Okay.
The counselor spoke to Sage, who said they identify as a boy before contacting their family in the legal brief. So a reporter got a hold of, like, the actual legal brief and looked it up. And that was the claim in the legal brief, was that the counselor talked to Sage and didn't talk to their mother. Okay. The counselor told Sage this is from the brief, so I'm quoting, a diminutive 14-year-old girl with mental health issues, that if she identified as a boy, she could use the male restroom at school. So they are now calling that social gender changes, allowing them to use different names, different pronouns, and different bathrooms. So where, like, my, God bless her, family member is like, they're doing sex reassignment surgery.
Yes.
Wrong. They are letting them choose their pronouns at school. That's very different.
We're not doing surgery during recess.
Right. So anyway, the school counselor, Sage told the counselor that their parents were not supportive of their gender identity. Shocking.
Right.
I'm so surprised.
Right.
And I'm shocked that this person is having gender dysmorphia.
Correct. And mental health issues.
Ends up having a mental fucking breakdown.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that they associate as a boy and everything to do with their shitty fucking parenting and the lack of support that they get at home.
So the school counselor, again, took the statement from a 14-year-old with significant mental health issues, because now we're talking that being transgender is a mental health issue. Because they, at least in the legal information that I read, there was the only thing that they said that Sage was suffering from is gender dysmorphia. That's it. They did not claim any other mental illnesses, at least in the legal brief that I saw. Okay. Who had significant mental health issues at face value, did not inform Mrs. Blair, who, by the way, is the student's grandmother and adoptive mother. So there's something there.
Yep. Yep.
And agreed to use SB's given, did not inform Mrs. Blair and agreed to use SB's given name and female pronouns when speaking with Mrs. Blair, but use the male name and pronouns at school. So as to deceive Mrs. Blair as to how Sage was being treated at school. Sage's mother was also not informed of reports of bullying and sexual harassment by male classmates. The plaintiff's legal team alleged the brief says that Sage had a psychotic breakdown and ran away after her mother learned she had been using the boys' bathroom, leading to blah, 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 blah. So then, but Trump again just says, presents Sage and says, okay, this is this Sage person, and they had this mental breakdown and their school did this to them. So we have got to ban allowing schools to recognize people in their
a person's desired
pronouns. That's right. So then he goes, can you even believe we're talking about this? How stupid that we have to talk about this. 10, 20 years ago, we wouldn't have to talk about this, but now we have to talk about this. And then he goes, and these people, pointing to the Democrats, how crazy are they that they don't support this? Obviously, they are so, like, he went on and on about how crazy Democrats were for not supporting this. And here's my problem. If I am a right winger and I hear just this story, I'm going to be like, this is crazy. I am a rational person. I'm going to say it is crazy if a school is trying to perform gender reassignment surgery on a 14-year-old without talking to their parent. That is not the truth.
Right. That's not what's actually happening.
And we can't, that's right. And we can't have a real conversation without actually discussing the truth,
the facts on the ground. Yes.
Yes. So I have to tell you, like, it was quite the speech. I feel dumber having watched it. But I will say that, again, there are some things. So he talked about his retirement accounts, which, again, like,
oh my God,
it's just giving $1,000 to people to put into the stock market instead of their 401ks. I'm like, okay,
this helps no one.
He said the Trump accounts, which, you know, the kids' savings accounts, I think they are $1,000,
$1,500 or something like that. Yeah.
Right. He said that by the time those students are ready to use those accounts, they'll be worth $100,000
in 18 years. They don't.
You're welcome. $100,000. He made that claim. Like, this is the shit that I'm just like,
this is the other thing I hate, because everything is such a huge fucking grift with him. How can you trust anything?
You can't.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to open up this Trump account on the fact that it's allegedly being invested in the stock market to grow for your child. And then what? You're going to find out later that every month there was a dividend that was siphoned off to the Trump organization.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
because there's always, he doesn't do anything.
There's always
doesn't benefit him financially somewhere on the bottom line. Always.
Correct. Anything else about the State of the Union that you want to discuss?
No, I don't think so.
I was about to say, did you see any clips?
Yeah, I've seen lots of clips. You know,
I mean, anything that I didn't reference was like surprising.
No.
Okay.
But I just was so disgusted with the clips that I saw, and like Johnson and Vance are back there just yucking it up behind Trump. Oh, he's just the funniest motherfucker on the planet. Like, we just love it. Like, as Riley said, the writing of the meat stick is disgusting. Like, they just can't fucking suck his dick hard enough. And it's like you said, you just, like, I'm proud of you for having watched it. I understand why you feel dumber for having watched it. And like, it's just the genuflecting.
Do you know he appointed, so at last night's speech, he said JD Vance is going to lead a task force to investigate the fraud in Minnesota. So he said that
Is
last
this like the
night.
Somali
And today,
daycare fraud thing that was the whole reason why we
yes,
had
which we've
ICE go
talked
in?
about is
Okay.
complete
Yeah.
bullshit. And JD Vance today said, we are going to withhold Medicare and VA payments to Minnesota while we investigate this. Yep. So who knows how long that's going to be.
So we took ICE out of your communities because, they murdered 2 people and you guys threw a fit about it. So now we'll just fuck you over and financially withhold money.
So we're going to punish you.
Medicare
Correct.
and
We're going to punish you in a different way.
VA funds.
Yep.
So here's
we'll see
where
what
I can
happens.
see that, like, some of the right wingers would be like, yeah, withhold the Medicare funds. They don't need to be on the government dole anyway. Fuck them. But the VA funds, that should be something that gets right wing MAGA folks all fucking up in arms when you start fucking with the veterans.
Happens.
Oh my God, girl, I hadn't heard that.
I know. We'll see what happens.
They're just going to get sued again.
Okay. We did get some good news this week.
Okay.
When the Supreme Court gave their ruling on Trump's tariffs.
Yeah.
Were you shocked?
I very shocked. And also, to go back to the State of the Union, they weren't all there last night, right? Well, did he go hard on them about the ruling for the ones that were there?
The Supreme Court?
Yeah.
No, all he said was basically like he made a comment about the tariffs, but he didn't. Well, now that I say that,
because he threw an unholy goddamn fit the day of the ruling, and I was.
So that's my thing is I'm confusing because I know he said something about his disappointment in the Supreme Court, but I'm trying to remember if it was in the State of the Union. I don't think it is.
Okay.
I think I'm remembering
like
a different speech.
Okay,
because, yeah, because he's had 2 other speeches that he's had recently. One was the Remembrance Day for like foreign fallen victims or something like that. And then another was something else. So I'm like, oh God, I can't remember which speech he said something about it, but it wasn't big enough that like it registered or that I made notes about it. And so I feel like not, but maybe.
Yeah. I was shocked.
But regardless, yeah, well, because he's now, said that he is going to increase the amount of tariffs, which cracks me up. But yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know, the Supreme Court has ruled that Trump did not have the authority to impose the tariffs. The actual ruling says held, the IEEPA does not authorize the president to impose tariffs. The judgment in blah, blah, blah is vacated and the case is remanded with instructions to dismiss or blah, blah, blah. So what they said was Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution specifies that the Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imports, and posts and excises. The framers recognized the unique importance of this taxing power, a power which very clearly includes the power to impose tariffs. And then they cited a different legal case, and they said they gave Congress alone access to the pockets of the people. The Federalist Papers, they cited the Federalist Papers from James Madison and said the framers did not vest any part of the taxing power to the executive branch. So, like, there is no uncertain terms that Trump is not allowed to set economic policy
because
that
Congress
has to come from
holds the purse.
Yeah, exactly correct. And so, interestingly, of course, Congress has done nothing about it since the ruling came out. But Federal Express this week became the first major corporation to sue the Trump administration wanting their tariffs back.
Oh my God, that's great.
There have been other organizations that have sued as well. I think Crocs did and like some other like big, but FedEx is the biggest to do it so far. So we're going to see what's going to happen.
Interesting. Yeah, because he's been touting all this time about the billions of gazillions of trillions of dollars that they've gotten in because of the tariffs. So it's not like you can be like, well, we didn't get any money in. Because like you've been talking forever about how much money you got in on the tariffs and how much you're winning.
We're all going to get a check.
Yeah. Yes.
Remember,
we're all going to get a new stimmy check.
That's right. So, yeah. So
I was shocked.
That was a little, like, it was surprising. Yeah. And it helps restore my faith that maybe there is still good, still righteousness in some of these people. The abortion case aside, it still feels like there is at least some righteousness in these people. So anyway, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we talk about the Olympics?
Yes. Let's talk about the Olympics.
The Olympics started off with JD Vance getting booed at the
Which
opening
was
ceremony.
fucking glory. But you only got to hear that if you watched clips on the internet because NBC edited it out.
That's what I heard. Not only did they edit it out, didn't they overlay it with applause?
Yep. Because I had already seen, so in this house, we are at our most patriotic during the Olympics. We are huge Olympic fans. And so we had already watched the opening ceremonies earlier in the day on our phones. And then that night when they were playing live at our time zone, I was like, oh no, that's not what actually happened. Yeah, 100%. They overlaid it with clapping. Mm-hmm.
Well, interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Yeah. So we had a lot of medal winners, and there was, of course, how does Trump get in the middle of, like, how does he turn even the Olympics political? Like, of all, you know what I'm saying? So even before the call, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yes.
But like, one of the skiers got up and was like, you know what? It's hard to represent America right now just because I have conflicting feelings about what's going on in the country. And like, he goes out and is like, he's un-American. Send him back to Oregon. And then
he shouldn't be allowed to represent us and did it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, can we not just not make everything not political? And I recognize the fact that this guy is the one that started, like, at least saying I'm having a hard time representing the country because of whatever, but he did not use the platform to specifically be like, because I hate Trump and his policies.
Right.
Now, he's from Oregon, he's a skier, and he's a kid. We all know what his like political leanings are, but if we didn't, there is nothing in what he said that would indicate, like, he might just be pissed off at the racism, or he might be pissed off about left-wingers and the shooting of Charlie Kirk, and who the fuck knows? He didn't make the comment political. It was literally just, I'm struggling right now because I'm having, a hard time with what's going on in our country. Honestly, maybe all he had a hard time with was the divisiveness and the fact that none of us got along. You have no idea. But Trump decides that, he's political and he supports the left, so he's un-American, puts it out there, and now it's become like this big thing where someone in our Olympics, like one of our Olympic athletes now, were saying, he should be fired. I'm like, what an asshole. The White House posted a picture of a bald eagle attacking a Canadian goose, which I thought was just such poor fucking taste.
And so, I mean, and so unnecessary and like below brow. And like, what are we doing? I mean, this is not fucking high school. It's just fucking high school level petty bullshit. And
it's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. Because at the end of the day, even though both of our hockey teams beat Canada for gold, Canada is still, their Olympians got to go home to not Donald Trump running their country. They got to go home to universal health care.
Right. So, we know who the real fucking winners are at this point.
We can argue who the actual winners were of the entire situation. Like, come the fuck
That's right.
on.
But then there is the fucking phone call. So after the women's U.S. hockey team won in a very dramatic fashion their gold medal, congratulations to them. Which, by the way, we hear fuck all about from anybody.
We watched it live, but it was amazing.
Of course you did.
We did, yes.
I have watched, the literal only thing I have watched is Jason Kelsey, who rode with the American bobsled team and yelled the whole time.
Girl, no. We watched the mixed doubles. In curling, the Coreys, we watched them win gold.
I
all
heard
about
there
it.
was cheating in
The
curling, and I was
Canadians.
like, what the fuck?
In the men's the men's Canadian team cheated during curling. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
Shame.
know. Shame on
Shame.
them. Yep.
But at the end of the day, like, no, we are not. I am not. I don't need to see cold sports when I'm already cold at home. I know that it doesn't. And I will tell you that this extends to everywhere in my lifestyle. So I play this game called Disney Dreamlight Valley, and it's like a stupid game. And I've got everyone I know, everyone like close to me really hooked on it. So you're next. I'm just telling you. Um, but they have like decorative things that have snow on them. I refuse because I'm like, I feel
That's
like just watching
hilarious.
it. You know, we watch Bravo and I
Yeah.
love Winter House. I won't watch it in the winter. I'll only watch it in the summer, which thank God that's when it comes out.
Oh my
But I'm
God,
like, I
that's
don't want to
hilarious.
feel more cold. So I
So no Winter
refuse to
Olympics for
watch.
you. Oh my God. Yeah, no,
No.
we watch all of it. We fucking
Isn't
eat
that
it up.
batshit
Yeah,
crazy? Like,
you're hilarious.
who you guys should not listen to me because clearly I'm crazy.
Oh God. Yeah, no,
It's
we
ridiculous.
love it.
Anyway,
Yeah.
awesome. So, well, and the funny thing about it is that I even like Barcher's message and is like, by the way, the hockey, like it's the hockey game's on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great.
Okay. Yeah, you're like fabulous.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not watching
Yeah.
it. So anyway, okay, I've got to stop. But so then the men win their gold medal in a very similar manner as the women already did, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to just point out one more time that the women had won gold for your daughter, Riley.
Yes.
Because let's just make that very clear.
Yes.
The fucking women. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Trump calls. So first, Kash Patel is there and goes nuts. You earlier called it broing it up.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was. He's broing it up, which he's gotten a lot of. He's actually gotten some vitriol from the right who's like, why are you there and not investigating the Epstein files?
Well,
good, valid question.
The Epstein files, or the guy that breached security again at Mar-a-Lago and you know what I mean, and ended up getting shot. What about Nancy Guthrie's mother? Like, there's lots of things that the FBI, that the director should be making sure that the people beneath him are focused on, and instead you're out here trying to hang out with the cool kids because you
That's
have
exactly
imposter
right.
syndrome, and you know you're not equipped to run the FBI. You're a
100%.
fucking clown.
You're a clown. So there's that. And then Trump calls the team to congratulate them. And I will say that what he said was not, it didn't hit me the way that I think it hit some people. But he was like, now, I have to invite the women's team, which also beat Canada to win the Olympics. Otherwise, I would probably be impeached.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it in a way that was like
demeaning.
And I don't want to have to invite
We
them.
got to invite the broads because otherwise they'll get all pissed off. Uh-huh.
Exactly. That's exactly the tone of what he said.
Yep.
And all the hockey players laughed. All the men's hockey players laughed.
Mm-hmm.
And even today, one of the hockey players came out. So goaltender Jeremy Swayman admitted, we probably should have reacted differently. And a lot of them now are eating crow because they're like, we love the women's hockey players. We support them.
Do you?
We have been celebrating with them together. Like, it was one of those times where Trump said something and everyone now is like, fuck, we should not have laughed at that thing. We should not have. You know what I mean?
And I can appreciate the fact that emotions were high. They had just won gold. They were very excited, very proud of themselves, like whatever. But this is what we talk about when we talk about the way men act when they think either there will be no blowback for the way that they're acting or no one is watching.
Right. That's right. That's right. When it's just them.
Yep. How do you talk about women when women aren't in the room?
That's right. That's right. And to your point, like, don't get me wrong. You and I, when we're together, can 100% participate in a man bash.
Oh,
it is not anything we would not say to a man.
husband
That's right.
included. Yeah.
That's right.
I'm in
So
the room so I
for
can show you
anyone
what
that wants to
happened.
come at us, that's right. For anyone that wants to come at us and is
No,
like, you guys men bash.
100%.
You're right.
Yeah.
There are plenty of times that I men bash, but
Yeah.
my husband knows exactly
Yeah.
what I say because it's nothing I don't say to
You know how many
him
times I've said to
right
my
to his
husband that
face.
I hate fucking men? And he
No
knows
shit.
that at times includes him, but majority of time does not. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100,000%. It should be noted that the women's hockey team declined the invitation to Washington, D.C. I will say that there are people out there that are like, it might not have been as politically motivated because let's be honest, they won their gold earlier in the week and then their like schedule started picking back up. So they probably did have other commitments. But the fact that they all declined
And
seems a little
and
like
even if it was
suspect.
like, let's say that they declined the offer before that video went viral, now they have no incentive because
Oh,
he's not
yeah.
apologized for it because he
No,
fucking meant it to be demeaning and he doesn't want them
100%.
there. And
Yes.
and I just find it interesting that because also, I mean, I saw a lot of things about like, it was never about men playing women's sports. It's just about women and protecting girls and all this kind of stuff. It's just about how he has such disdain for women that can do things better than he can do.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's got to do whatever he can to diminish their achievements.
Accomplishments.
Yep.
100%. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And what did they have for lunch today for the
my God.
hockey team?
Okay. First of all, this is what they get for being fucking douchebags on the phone call. So this is karma serving it to you hot. They got
Hot and ready.
McDonald's. They got
Of
fries,
course they did.
double cheeseburgers. They got served. They are at the White House and got served McDonald's. There are Michelin level stars, whatever I'm trying to say.
Michelin star chefs.
At
Yes.
the fucking White House. And you ordered an Uber delivery of McDonald's. Uber Eats shows up to the White House with McDonald's,
right.
cold French fries. Fucking, are you kidding me? Where was RFK Jr.?
I know. I know. Like, you have to wonder. I would be but so
that's what
pissed.
he served the not this year, but last year maybe, the winner of the Super Bowl. They had fucking McDonald's.
Yeah, no, this year the team didn't show up. My beloved Seattle Seahawks also declined the invitation, which I just love.
Yeah. Fucking
so
McDonald's.
That was crazy.
McDonald's.
Yep, of course.
A meal that they can literally get on their own at any time. Instead, like,
I know.
But that's what you get. Like, see, this is what you get for yucking it up with Kash Patel and Trump. I hope you enjoyed your cold French fries. You motherfuckers. Didn't even get a Shamrock Shake. Fucking Shamrock Shake's back, but not for you, jackwagons. They had like tiny bottles of water. That was their drinks.
They didn't even get like a fountain Diet Coke.
No, bitch.
The best Diet thing Coke? At McDonald's are fountain sodas.
They did not get a crispy Coke nary anywhere on the table. Tiny bottles of water.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have much time left, but I did want to talk really quickly around the Epstein files because, by God, you and I will talk about the Epstein files every fucking week if we have to. Andrew Mountbatten was arrested.
Yes, he was.
Peter Mandelson, the former British ambassador to the U.S., was arrested. Larry Summers resigned from Harvard. Like, at least things are happening, especially in other countries around the world. We talked last week about how at least one file that contained testimony accusing Trump of sexual assault is missing from the DOJ website. CNN did an entire analysis and found that actually 3 documents that detailed a 13-year-old of accusing Trump of sexual assault is now missing off. Yeah, someone younger than my
your child. A 7th grader.
Yes. So they said that there were 325 FBI witness interview records, but over a quarter of that list is all missing. Those interview records are all missing from the DOJ. And so Representative Ro Khanna talked about like, oh, we're going to have to like take action on this. And I think Tom Massey even said something recently about taking action against the DOJ because
they're not
they are
following
not
the
doing
law.
anything.
Did you hear about
That's right.
Bill Gates today?
I did. I have not read what exactly he said because I guess there's detailed about it, but he mentioned what,
He had
affairs?
2 affairs with 2 different Russian women in his time with Epstein. He admitted that he was aware that Epstein had been convicted of sex with a minor when his friendship with Epstein started. So that was clearly not a non-starter for Bill Gates. So that's good to know about him. And he apologized on the call, for what he had done as far as having the affairs and how that had played a part in the demise of his marriage and all these different things. And that clearly it was a lapse in judgment, his friendship with Epstein. And here's what I want to say to that. You're not sorry. You're sorry you got caught. Because
That's right. We know that.
He was convicted of, and the state of Florida is responsible for the fact that he was still able to, that he got such a lenient sentence that he was still able to traffic human beings and do horrible, heinous things until he was put in prison where he was murdered. But
that's right.
At the end of the day, Bill Gates, you have now erased all the good that your foundation has done with the healthcare initiatives and everything. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because you admitted that you knew he was convicted of sex with a minor and you said, nah, I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with that.
And he admitted to being on his plane, to traveling to Europe and all these other countries and being in his New York penthouse and being at, he admitted on this call to being at all the places and all the things with him. And then just said it was a lapse in judgment. No, it wasn't. It wasn't a lapse in judgment.
I mean, that's my thing. And you and I have said this before. If I found out,
oh my God,
that one of our friends was a pedophile, I would stop talking to them.
Yes. And I'd be like, why? How did I miss it? How did I miss it?
Yeah. Yeah. And I would stop talking to them because I'm worried about the safety of myself and my children.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just crazy. But I am glad to see that we're starting to really see some
traction
results happening from the Epstein files. Thomas Massey did come out on Tuesday and specifically on the House floor said, when are we going to see charges? When are we going to see justice? When are we going to see the rest of the files? Blah, blah, blah. There were some Republican lawmakers that wore Epstein protest badges that said something like release the redacted files is what, anyway. And so like people for sure, but they're saying that most people at this point are blaming Pam Bondi and Kash Patel for not doing a thorough enough So, which don't get me wrong.
I mean,
they're
they should be
responsible as well.
But why aren't they doing enough? Because they're protecting Trump and they're protecting the other powerful men.
That's right. That's right. I posted a meme the other day that was like, and I think you liked it, but it was something that was like, hey, I want everyone in the Epstein files to be charged and taken down. And it's like, but the whole system will collapse. And I was like, I already said I wanted this. You don't have to sell me on it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm fine with it.
100%.
Yes.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that and happy to let it all fucking
let it burn.
Okay. That's all I had. But I think you had one more thing about banks, Trump and banks.
Yes. So real quick. So I got this earlier this week from the New Republic that the Trump administration is considering requiring banks to track clients' citizenship status in order to find more people to deport. So the Wall Street Journal was reporting that the White House is looking at signing an executive order or some other means to compel financial institutions to gather data. Banks would likely have to ask for identifying documents such as passports from both new and existing customers who want a bank account in the U.S. Banks are reportedly alarmed at such an executive order. They've already have legal requirements to collect certain information for law enforcement to fight against financial crimes, including money laundering. But those requirements do not specifically include gathering citizenship information, and there's no law against, this is the kicker, guys, no law against a non-citizen having a bank account. There is no law against that. So a White House official told the publication that the new requirement hasn't been approved and is only being discussed right now within Treasury, a division of the Treasury Department that enforces laws against money laundering and counterterrorism financing could be used to collect the information, according to an unnamed source. Last year, the Department of Homeland Security forced, Medicare and Medicaid to turn over their information to identify targets. So, yeah, so that's fun. That's a new fun thing.
That is not fun.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a passport being required
to open a bank account? Do you know how many? You already know how many people are unbanked in that because of what you do for a living. You already know the numbers of people that are already unbanked simply because they don't have the means to open a bank account, to pay the monthly fee if they don't have a minimum balance in the account all the time, to do, those kinds of things. So they have a card that their paycheck goes to, and that's how they pay their bills because they can't get a traditional bank account.
Correct.
And now we're going to make people that don't have passports do that. Here's my other thing, and this goes back to the SAVE Act too. When the federal government is telling you that you need these documents all of a sudden to vote, a passport and a birth certificate to vote, and now potentially a passport to have a bank account, and they also control your means to be able to get a copy of your birth certificate and get approved for a passport, that's a very scary thing. That is fucking alarming that they would be able to potentially deny your right to get a passport, which then denies you the ability to vote or to open a bank account.
And you're 1,000% correct because, again, last week I posted Trump is a racist.
Mm-hmm.
It very much, Trump could put me on a database that says she shouldn't get a passport because, or we should revoke her passport because she is a domestic terrorist. Like he can say whatever he wants to say.
Yes.
And so to your point, you're absolutely right that it is terrifying. Even as like our reconciliation team has to have a separation of duties where this team does this thing and this team does this thing. To have it all live in one place makes something rampant for misuse, misabuse, and fraud. And that's exactly what could happen here. And it very much is just a way to keep the disenfranchised even more disenfranchised.
Yes.
What a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. On that
note, want your happy ending?
Give us our happy ending.
Our happy ending is coming out of Las Vegas. And it starts out kind of sad, but it gets good. Okay. So a little golden doodle has a brighter future ahead of him after abusive treatment by his owner, saw her arrested, and an officer leaped at the chance to adopt him. So on February 2nd at Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas, JetBlue staff were attempting to inform the dog's owner she would, did you hear about this?
I did.
That she would not be permitted to board as the paperwork for the animal, claimed to be a service animal, had not been completed. She tied her dog to a metal baggage measurement rack and left, prompting the JetBlue staff to call the police. Officers later confronted the woman, who proceeded through security checkpoint to the departure hall at gate D1. A police recounting of the incident claimed she stated the airline would not allow her to fly with the dog, while adding it had a tracking device, implying it was acceptable to leave the animal behind and it would be returned to her. Bitch, what are you talking about? The police disagreed with this assertion, shockingly enough, and detained her on misdemeanor animal abuse charges. However, a violent attempt at resisting arrest saw her removed from the airport. I didn't know that. So Animal Protective Services took custody of the dog after the mandatory 10-day hold period passed, and she never returned for the dog. Retriever Rescue of Las Vegas stepped in.
Bitch, she had a flight. She had a flight to catch.
That's so true. The dog has been affectionately renamed JetBlue, and 10 days after the 10-day hold, Officer Black, who had confronted the owner originally, arrived with his family to fill out the adoption paperwork and took him home.
So the funny thing is, with his new last name, it's now JetBlue Black.
I didn't even think of that. That's great. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So they showed pictures of this woman just
That's
leaving.
insane. I could never imagine doing that.
Can you,
No.
so my husband works for the airlines. This is why it came up in my scroll, in
Sure.
my
Yeah.
feed, it
Yeah,
was
in your
airline
algorithm, yeah.
related. But yeah, so to your point, like the bitch just tied the dog to a metal post and fucking left.
I can't imagine. Like, if you're going to fly with your pet, why wouldn't you make sure all the documents are in order?
Right. And then if you can't fly
You
with
just
your
leave
pet,
it?
you just leave it in the airport? Like,
Like,
what are you
how long is your trip,
like?
ma'am? Who did you think was going to feed and water your animal and take it out to go potty? Like, all the things.
Someone has to have asked her this, right?
I would think so.
So
Maybe the judge will.
because they gave her name in the article.
Oh, they did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And you have got to know that my bitch
Did you
ass
Google it?
immediately went to social media and looked her up, and now her page is private. So I'm guessing people are reaching out and DMing and whatever. And the picture that they give in, like, that they show is, you don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. You don't know that she is who she is. So I wasn't going to like DM somebody and them be like, it's not me.
Yeah.
But she has a unique enough name.
Okay.
That,
Interesting.
like, there were like 3 people that came up with that name.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
But I'm just like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, that's insane.
And what's crazy to me is it was like a nice looking dog.
It's a golden doodle.
So,
those are like designer dogs.
It's worth that. Like, you could have sold that dog and made enough to buy a replacement ticket if you really didn't want, like,
you can only get those from specialty breeders. You're not picking that up at Casey Pet Project where I got my pit bull.
No, ma'am.
Like,
no, ma'am. You're not getting at the same spot my butt. I got a Casey Pet Project as well. Like, no, that is not the case. So yeah. Well, I read all about that. That was crazy.
What a flaming cunt bag.
That is a fabulous happy ending. I am delighted that this officer now has this designer fucking dog that looked absolutely adorable.
JetBlue Black. That's so hilarious because I hadn't even put that together that was the full name.
Every once in a while my brain clicks, but that doesn't happen very often. Okay, well, that is all we have for this week. We hope that those of you that did not watch the State of the Union got something out of this, because I did try and at least take some notes so I could share this with you guys. I did good. I try at least as best as I can. I also, like I said, am delighted to see some consequences from the Epstein files. So that has been fabulous to see. But Board of Peace, I think, is meeting this week. So next week will probably be.
God, he's just had a busy week. State of the Union, Board of Peace. Did you see that he fell asleep in the fucking Board of Peace meeting last week after I said it on the podcast?
No.
Girl, he gave his little speech, and then there's photos of him. I totally forgot about it. Photos of him asleep while the other leaders of the other countries are talking. Peepaw went right to nap time. Yep.
Well, Peepaw's had a rough time. He didn't know. So he didn't know all of the awards he was going to give out at his. Like, they want to invite him to the Academy Awards. So, like, you know.
Oh my God.
He had to get his own award show today, and he didn't know all the awards he was going to be having to give out. So, you know, he had to take
keys to the city, like, whatever. It's fine.
Right. That's right. And next time around, he's going to give them to himself. So we'll see what happens.
It's going to be great.
Anyway. All right. Well, we hope you guys have a fabulous week. Please like and subscribe so that you get notified for our new videos or podcasts. Again, watch this on YouTube, or our podcast is available everywhere that you can stream podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon. It's all there. So you can listen to us wherever your little heart desires. And with that, we hope you have a fabulous weekend, and we love you. Bye.